Scholarships. I mean, do I really have to say any more? So let's just get right into the video.
Yeah, it's one heart, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the...
What's up guys, my name is Casey Coleman. I'm a physical therapist and the co-founder of Pre-PT Grind, and on this video we're going to be talking about scholarships. Because if you can get them, if you can get scholarships or grants, then why not use that to further your education so you don't have to pay for it on the back end. So you don't have to pay for your education in the future. Just makes sense. But with scholarships, why are there so many out there, but they don't really get taken advantage of like they should? Well, we're going to get into that in just a second. So why scholarships are important outside of the bigger, oh, it's just free money, is because this is your future and you're putting in the work, you're putting in an investment for your future. You're like keeping these costs as low as possible so you don't have to pay this back later. And when thinking about your future career, you want to think of it in really three parts to be in a financial place you want to be at, because that's what a majority of this is about, especially with a career in healthcare, because you chose this career, physical therapy, at some level, whether you know about a lot of it or not, or whether you know how the pay structure is or all that stuff. You chose this at a certain level because of the money you plan on making. So let's make sure we talk about the money that you can potentially make. So with your future self, I want you to think about three things with making sure your finances are in order or are on track to be in order in the future. One, keeping the costs as low as possible. And scholarships are a factor in that. Number two, increasing your income, starting now, as early as possible. Then the last thing is making the money that you work for you as well. So to keep it simple, keeping the costs low, increase your income, and three, invest so that you can have a future as a physical therapist like you've dreamed of. Because if you've dabbled into some research about this profession or came across anybody who told you not to go into PT or not to do this, it is about, they're telling you that, or you're reading these things because of money, not because of the actual physical therapy treatment. It's about the money, how much school costs, how much you're going to get paid or not paid, how much you negotiate, all that stuff. They're saying not to do it because of the money, not because of physical therapy. I hope that's getting through. So if we can tackle this money part or do what we can to make sure this money thing is in the best place possible for as many of you as possible, then you'll enjoy your career that much more. Okay? So now getting into number one, keeping the cost as low as possible. I did a video before on low cost schools, so I'll put a card up here, or you guys can just type in Pre-PT Grind low cost schools, or I'll put it in the description. You guys know how to work the internet, you'll find it. So make sure you watch that video as well. Then this video is going to be on scholarships to keep the cost as low as possible. Okay? So with scholarships, I'm not going to go over every single scholarship out there. The purpose of this video is to open your eyes to different places you can look, and I'll give some links in the description to help on your search. Okay? Because with scholarships, I got a few scholarships from the school, DPT school I went to, from the undergrad school I went to, as well as outside ones as well. But as many of you start to find out, it's difficult. Like, it's a full-time job. It takes so much work, and the reason a lot of people probably don't take advantage of them as much is because of that reason. You got to apply to PT school, you got classes, you got work, you got a significant other, some of you have kids, there's stuff going on, then you got to apply for all these scholarships on top of it. Like, that's crazy. But like I said at the beginning, you have to think of it as an investment into your future. You're working this other job to get $10,000, $2,000, $500 put or invested into your education on your behalf. Okay? So hopefully that mind shift can help you push through that work. So with scholarships, some places to look. Okay? Start taking out notes, rewind this video, all that stuff. Let's get into it. Places to look. Don't overlook the websites, whether it's websites like Unigo, FastWeb, scholarships.com. The list goes on and on. Google, just type in physical therapy, pre-physical therapy, any type of scholarships. Just type in scholarships, undergrad. You guys know how to do it, okay? Any websites you find on Google, don't discount them. Like, look into them. like they're right there. It's low-hanging fruit. So look into them, put in some work, make a spreadsheet on it, all that stuff, okay? Don't discount those websites, okay? Number 2, you can look into institutional scholarships. So scholarships from your undergrad school, from your community college, from your university, from the DPT program that you've been accepted in. Ask around, look on their brochures, look on their websites, and see how their scholarships work. What is their policy? What does financial aid look like for the scholarships and grants section? Okay? So what scholarships are given by the school? Can you have a certain test score? ACT, SAT, GRE test score? Is there a community service one? Just do some work, do some research into institutional scholarships, okay? Next place you can start to look are local scholarships, as in state scholarships, scholarships from the state, scholarships from your region, Southeast, Northeast, Midwest, West, things like that. Municipal scholarships as well. So from your town, from your county, from your city, from the village. Can you participate in anything going on in the village or town? Did you even know there might be scholarships from there? Anything like that. Is there anything if you went to a city public school like Chicago public schools, LA public schools, New York school system? If you came from that, are there any scholarships to help push you along? Have you even thought to look into that? Who knows? But that's another place you can look. Okay. Next, corporate scholarships. So if your parents, aunts or uncles, siblings work for a big corporation, Johnson and Johnson, Ford, Tesla, any Pfizer, anything like that, do they have any corporate scholarships for family members? Do any of them work for the NBA, NFL, NHL, who need medical staff, who give scholarships to anybody going into the medical profession? Anything like that. Now, kind of going off of corporate scholarships, this kind of ties in with hospital scholarships, because a lot of hospitals are owned by corporations or some sort, right? There's some mix of that. Of course, there are private hospitals, but a lot of the big hospitals you go to outside of the state-run or county-run hospitals could be a part of a corporation. So you can kind of put those in one into another, right? So same thing with hospitals. Are there any scholarships for children or family members of a hospital system? Anything like that? Because they need employees to run their hospital. Okay? So, things like that. The next, of course, military scholarships or grants. I know that's a whole nother topic. I've never been in the armed services, so we'll have to bring somebody else in to talk about that, or I'm sure there's plenty other videos about that as well, but that's a whole nother thing that you can tap into as well. Then, of course, grants from any research that you might have done as an undergrad or grad student as well. These are just places to start looking. And like I said before, there will be links in the description and all that stuff to help start your search, or to help give you kind of a head start with what to look into as well. Okay? So now, pro tips to close this video off so that you guys can get to work, get into it. Pro tips that you should keep in mind and pay attention to. 1, gather as much financial information from the grad schools as possible. So if you're going to a DPT school, gather as much information as possible, especially if you're applying through corporate scholarship or any of them. Let's just keep it at that. Gather as much information as possible, because the bigger ones, the big scholarships, 50K, 10K, 15, all that stuff, it could vary, or you could get more based on how much it can cost. So gather information like, of course, the tuition, any travel costs if you're commuting, or if you're going to a hybrid program and you have to fly across the country multiple times, room and board if you're staying on campus, room and board if you're on clinicals, traveling for clinicals, and you have to spend your own money on housing. Look into that. Any graduate fees or lab fees as well. Any subscriptions that your school has you take out to do your learning on. Any insurances you have to take off for healthcare during PT school. Then I already talked about housing and lab fees and food. The list goes on and on. The main point is to gather as much information as possible. That's number one. Number two is to never stop looking for scholarships. Never stop looking. So if you're an undergrad right now as a freshman in high school, let's go. You got time on your side. If you just got accepted into a DPT program and you're like, oh, I just need a scholarship to get me started, then you end your first year and you forget all about it. No, keep looking for scholarships. First year, second year, third year, freshman in undergrad, senior in undergrad, anything in between, keep on looking. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep your foot on the gas, because again, this is an investment. This is work put into your education now, into your investment now, so that you can have less cost on the back end. Then lastly, kind of goes along with the one I just mentioned, is look for yearly recurring scholarships. You can prioritize those scholarships. So instead of saying, oh, I got 1 scholarship or 2 scholarships this year, but now I have to look for a whole new scholarship the next year because that was just a one-time thing, you can prioritize recurring scholarships. Quarterly scholarships, biannual scholarships, annual, semi-annual, whatever. You can look for those recurring scholarships, and that could help you a ton as well. All right, so rewatch this video, look at the description below, watch the other videos here so that you can have a great financial future for yourself, for your future family, for your current family, for your future career, so that you can continue loving physical therapy as a career and not letting this huge financial burden make you regret going into this profession. Because again, like I said before, the big pushback, and if you didn't know this before, I'm telling you, the big pushback that you will get from a lot of people, maybe, is that, oh, don't go into PT because of this and that. It's mainly focused around the money. If you really pay attention and dig deep, it's never really about, oh, don't go into physical therapy because it doesn't help people. Oh, don't go into physical therapy because we don't like the treatment you guys give. No, it's never about that. Or, oh, do something else because of this and that. It's about the money. So if we can tackle this and get you guys started on it as soon as possible, you will love your decision to pursue this career. So I hope this helped. Tag, like, subscribe, comment, share, do the whole 9. We appreciate it so much, and we'll see you on the next video.